as the Canes look to keep their winning ways going. De'Aaron King, who really was just nothing short of fantastic his last time out. It really was just a great performance from the Miami Hurricanes quarterback. I can't wait to watch him play again. Always tough going there and playing in those with those yahoos with their stupid turkey noises. I hate that.
Is Vitek favored?
Yes.
Yeah, they are, which is crazy.
So they're unranked.
They are unranked. They're coming off a loss to Liberty.
Miami's number 9.
Correct.
Yep.
And Virginia Tech's favored by 2.
Yep.
Nobody like
It's fishy. It's
fishy. I'm not. Yeah, I'm with you. It's a little bit strange. I mean, that's always known as a tough place to play. They're not playing at night.
A top 10 team versus an unranked team that just lost to Liberty, right? And the top 10 team
Is an underdog.
is an underdog.
Yep.
Now, I'm not. This isn't me being negative. I'm just trying to explain why the Canes might be underdogs. Is because maybe the Vegas odds makers feel like the Canes have played a lot of fluff in their schedule, and the one real challenge against Clemson, they got whooped. That's not me. That's Vegas talking.
Really?
That's not me.
Really, they're a top 10 team, Robbie. Take any top team and play an unranked team, and they're going to be favored.
That's true. That most of the time you're
I
correct.
don't care. Any top 10 team, whether it's Fugazi, whether there's only 10 teams that are getting ranked. I don't care what scenario you give me. If you are a top 10 team, hell, I go as far as to say if you're a ranked team versus an unranked team, you're probably going to be favored.
Nah, there's got to be some Fugazi ranks in the 20s. Come on.
Of course there is, because the Pac-10 and the Big Ten just started playing. Of course there is.
Well, look, I don't go into you're going into these games right now, and you're hoping that the Canes can go outscore people because you don't feel fantastic that the defense can shut anybody down.
Against the swag unit?
Swags, the targeting, all that type of stuff.
Right.
So
we got a guy that he should be fresh because he only played like 3 quarters.
But the thing that you do love is you do feel like the guy leading your offense right now. I mean, he's definitely whatever's happened with the receivers over the last couple of games. It definitely has picked up, which is great to see. He was more aggressive running the football like he said he was going to be last week. So I mean, it really he has stepped up to the challenge. I thought has answered back nicely. And so with that kind of stuff, like this would be a game I would see the Canes disappointing in, on the road, at noon. It would be.
Stop that.
Hold on.
They're a top 10 team.
Can't tell me to stop it. I'm telling you when I say would have, right? May have dodged a bullet. But with that quarterback, I feel good, man. I really I feel like we've done a lot of bitching for this Canes team for where they are at. What were the expectations coming into this year? I mean,
that's exactly what I'm saying. Holy smokes, right? There in most years, if the Canes were ranked in the top 10, right, it wouldn't be so much negativity.
No, you'd be thrilled.
Right,
you'd be thrilled if you could go. The other thing is, I mean. How many years are we coming in here? We lose the dumb game to NC State on the road. How many games do they lose to Virginia where they have that, that slop fest? I mean, so many years
right. And
where we're having those and they just come up short. They're coming out of them with wins. They're kind of doing it in an exciting fashion with some of these games too because the offense is fun, the quarterback's fun.
There's only one reason why these games are so exciting. The defense sucks.
Yes.
Let's put it out there. Let's not beat around the bush, right? Your defense gave up 40-plus points to NC State. Okay.
You gave it up to honked off like a goose.
Right. So from that standpoint, yeah. Look, Leroy lashing out because Michigan can't win a game when ranked. I'm not. Actually, I'm on the other side of that. Well, holy smokes. Right. Oh, here you go. And I'm a big proponent of this, right? When you have new players, a new team, new quarterback, whatever, don't hold the pass against them. De'Aaron King don't know nothing about the nooners, the sleepy nooners. He don't know nothing about going into. He doesn't know anything about any of that, right? Here you go. It's not fishy. We're the worst noon road team in the history of college football, right?
It's a kryptonite.
But how many? What? Who knows that?
The
The guy who's gonna have the biggest impact on this game, right? From the Canes' perspective, has no idea what the hell anybody's talking about.
Like if you think that you think DR King would laugh in your face if you got on the Zoom call and you asked him about Sleepy Nooners?
Yes. He'll say, "What is that?" But that's my point, right? We do that with sports, right? We do that with, oh man, in the last 4 years, I'm like, meanwhile you got one guy that's on the team from there.
They had a funny. Who was the one they had? They had one of those this week with the Dolphins game. What, they hadn't won in Arizona since like '96.
Right. But they only play there every 8 years.
It was like, oh wow, that seems like such a daunting stat. 96. We're screwed.
No, Michigan just had one of those.
Which one?
They hadn't, Indiana hadn't won that game since 1987.
Who do you have this weekend? Who is
They're
Michigan taking?
home against Wisconsin.
Home against Wisconsin.
Oh man, the Rona Badgers.
Oh, and even I mean,
They played one game.
Here, I have a question. With so many teams, postponing their games or canceling their games in the SEC, why doesn't the SEC just move the schedule 1 week forward?
They already had a built-in week to make up games, and now they have to go into SEC championship weekend to make up some games too, because they.
But I'm just saying, if you just take the whole week and move it forward, can they not do that because of TV?
I'm sure they could do whatever they want. I mean, CBS doesn't have a game on Saturday. Like they were supposed to have Alabama LSU with a Masters lead in to college football, but they're not. There's no college football game on for CBS.
Do you think part of the Canes thing too is just because of this season feeling so weird with all the coronavirus? Like, there's something about college football. I do feel like the atmosphere has been taken out of it a little bit. You know, I think it's one of the sports where like the fans, the passion, all that type of stuff is felt more than any other sport. Do you think that's taking us up? Because you're right, man. Like if this was any other Canes season and we were going into what are they right now? What is
6-1.
6-1. Okay, so we're in a good chunk of the season. Any other Canes team, even if you did get humbled by Clemson, you knew that was going to happen.
Right.
I feel like the excitement would be somewhat more. You know,
Here's how it works. That first of all, Blacksburg is a hell of a place to play. I don't care what the record is. So not only do you get to go up there and play, but you don't have to worry about all the fans, right?
Yeah.
Which you're telling me, if it was a packed house, that Virginia Tech would be favored by more.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, that just...
You never know with those Hokie fans. They might be hiding in the bushes with those stupid turkey callers.
So I just
aren't those the rat bastard fans who took a shot at Jose Fernandez's death?
Yes.
Yeah. Class it up, Virginia Tech.
I mean, like I was shocked. I was shocked by that. And I can't imagine that it's going to be 2.5 by game time, right? Like there's no like that line right there, Robbie.
I feel like a lot of people would want to. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people would want to grab the Canes and the points on that. Are you more shocked?
The Canes bros are going to hit that up, right, Robbie?
Are you more shocked by that, or are you more shocked that the Dolphins are not the standard 3-point favorite against the Chargers? They're only a 1.5 point favorite.
Oh, it's shrinking.
That's that. I would say that's a like that game could go either way.
I mean, it opened at 3, and then it started to go the Chargers' way, and then you got Wilkins and Van Noy on the Rona list.
Right, but I would say this. I would say I think there's still people haven't acknowledged how good Miami's defense is. Not yet, because what happens is when you have a lot of defensive touchdowns and a lot of turnovers, some think that's random, right? And usually stats like that, you usually only really appreciate them when you look at the season in the rearview mirror and say, "Whoo, they got a lot of touchdowns and a lot of turnovers," right? That's why they're here. But as it's going on, when you see the turnovers and stuff like that, you're going, oh, he threw it right to him. Oh, look at that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's kind of a random stat. But what's not a random stat, right, is defensive scoring. They are top 5 in the league.
No, they are. They're fantastic.
And that's not gonna. But think about this. When you think about the Dolphins, they do give up a boatload of yards, right? But they don't give a lot of points up. So
And they also seem to give up a boatload of yards to a certain type of quarterback. That
a throwing one.
no. I mean, it's actually no. The running ones are the ones that seem to give them the most trouble.
By the way, that's everybody in the league, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, like if I were to list off the quarterbacks that they have given the most games up to, you're like, oh yeah, that's a type. You know.
Well, there's a lot of teams. You know who used to do that in college? Alabama. If you had a mobile quarterback, you had a chance against Alabama, because in their pro style defense, in their everybody has responsibility defense, there's no controlling a quarterback that can just pick it up and run. You know, everybody calls me a Canes hater, but I call it like I see it. The fact that they're 2.5 point underdogs or 2 point underdogs, Robbie,
Slap in the face.
we're definitely throwing some Northwestern salmon at it.
I thought you were about to call a pride game.
No, it's not a pride game. Pride game? How can it be a pride game?
I mean, because you're a top 10 team
Disrespected.
and you're being
Disrespected.
and you're an underdog to an unranked team.
they don't know. Players don't know that, man. You think players try to cover?
I don't think players have ever known more than they know now.
Well, that's true. Well, especially with everybody, like,
DMs,
I mean,
tweets.
it's amazing because now reporters are they're just bold about it. Hey, you guys are 2 touchdown favorites. What do you think of that? Right? Like, you got action on the game, buddy?
I had a guy. I was at a bare knuckle press conference a couple days ago. A guy asked, "You're the betting underdog." He goes, "Can I bet on myself? To win, of course. To win."
Well, you know, in England, all bets are off. Like, they can bet on themselves.
Can they?
You can bet on yourself in boxing.
Yeah, I think. I think Floyd's done that.
Yep.
Floyd's done that before. But yeah, big weekend. Long live the king! Can't wait to see him play again. Just so much fun, man. This is exciting that you got.
Is it fun
2
because it's
teams.
different, or is it fun because he's that good?
I think he's that good.
Okay. I was just asking.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like I'm watching a guy. Some of the throws that he was making this last game. I mean, it was a beautiful ball.
Yeah.
Question for
Great
you
touch.
guys.
Receivers have stepped up. I mean, I'm very impressed with him because I definitely was going through some of these games where they were struggling. I was like, I don't know, is he like the real deal? Is he that? But I mean, the way he's bounced back, it shows you something. He's been very impressive. Go ahead, Robbie.
No, I'm saying no chance. Like, you know, I know because of the new Rona rules, like you do get another year of eligibility, and if he wanted to, he could come back next year. Now, I think you can almost rule that out of him coming back next year because he's not going to get any taller over a year. So I think.
Well, I think, look, if you are a short quarterback, your time is now,
Sure.
right? But here's what I like. Here's what I like about what's transpired. You've had all different types of quarterbacks. You had the mobile ones. You've had the statues. You've had the guys who are running quarterbacks. You've had the guys who are RPO guys. You've had a lot of different types of quarterbacks that have come into the league as of recent years. So it's almost like pick your poison.
Yep. But does
Who do you want to be?
But does De'Aaron, what's his draft outlook this year? Because this is going to be a draft. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is going to headline. Justin Fields, the dude from North Dakota. Like, not
Another
thought-
guy from North Dakota.
Yeah, Trey Lance.
They're not like I don't think they're projecting DR King to be a first round pick. So like, why wouldn't you come back if
Well-
you could up the stock a little?
Well, that's what I'm
But
saying. I don't know.
how much are you going to up it?
Yeah.
Here's the other thing you have to consider: if he finishes out this year and has a hell of a year, how much can you improve your draft stock, regardless of how you think it is or not?
Yeah, like his knock is his height, but his height's not going to change.
His knock is his height, but he's also, his season. He didn't have a full season last year. I guess it depends how he finishes out this year. But I don't think people are looking at him like Kyler Murray, and they're like, oh, we're definitely going to look at De'Aaron and say he's going to be the number one pick. There's no chance he's going to be the number one pick.
Right.
He doesn't have the arm of Kyle
Well,
Murray.
he wasn't going to. Neither was Kyler Murray until he grew 2 inches at the combine.
That's true, but I mean,
And then as soon as he left the combine, he went back to being 5'8".
I get the comparisons there, but like, do you feel like he's got Kyler Murray's tool?
No,
Like, he doesn't-
no,
he doesn't-
the
no,
arm,
no.
the arm.
He doesn't have.
Kyler Murray has don't sleep on his arm.
No, he's got a hose.
Right. And he got road runner speed.
Like, he's got those elements to his game, but I don't think they're quite as good.
Right. Right. I mean, he could be one of those guys that, they bring him in. Look at Russell Wilson. They didn't think he was going to come in and be the starter and be a Super Bowl champion and all these things and end up being here. Nobody thought Russell Wilson would be where he is today when he got into the league. But they did say, right, if he was 2 inches or 3 inches taller, he might have been the first pick in the draft. They did say that. So I don't know if they're saying that about Derek King.
And how many Miami Hurricanes in recent history who have been draft eligible have come back for their senior season to improve their draft stock? Usually, if they get like a 4th or 5th round grade, they're gone.
Yeah, but the thing with that is he's going to be the quarterback. Like, it's not like a guy's going to miss out on playing time, or he's not.
Yeah.
You don't feel like he's worried about injury or any of that type of stuff. Like, I don't feel like there's this grand roll of the dice. Like, typically when guys come out, you're coming out because you don't want to hurt. You feel like you can't better your stock anymore. I don't feel like that's the case with him. I feel like he could do a lot of improving, especially in a class where he's going to get overlooked like easily.
Brad Kayak.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, because you keep in mind, people in Derek King's situation, if they get drafted, on the lower half of the draft, you're going to a better team.
I suppose, yeah. I guess if somebody's just going to go take a chance on him or get him lower, I'm just saying, like, what are his aspirations?
That's exactly what happened to Russell Wilson, though.
It did, but like, it's also a rarity of what Russell Wilson went into.
Not really. Drew Brees.
Drew Brees didn't go to but Drew Brees went to a situation and then ended up on another team.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I can't think of. I mean, the obvious is Tom Brady, but that doesn't count. 6th round. You know what I mean? Can't even use Tony Romo. Right? Like, there's certain guys that I won't use because they were so low that they got passed over a number of times. No, I can't think of anybody.
By the way, if the season is normal next year, the first game of the season next year is against Alabama.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh, Nelly!
I'm trying to find something on De'Aaron King's like draft stock. The only thing I can find is from Inside the U that says King is yet to appear in any mock drafts. He isn't listed as one of the top 10 draft eligible quarterbacks by Bleacher Report's Matt Miller. It should be noted that 13 quarterbacks were selected in the 2020 NFL draft. But if you're not a top, like, let's just say that is the case, and let's even like, if you're not a top 10 quarterback, that's something you jump pro for that. I don't know, and I admittedly, I know that his father recently passed away, but I don't know what his personal status is of when he needs to maybe go make money to play football.
The guy I'm talking about is Brooks Koepka.
But
He started off. Yeah.
But I don't see De'Aaron King like on any list, Leroy, that says, hey, you definitely should jump this year. But maybe you can improve that by the end of the year. I don't know.
I mean, I guess I'm guessing that here's what you have to weigh. and here's what I did when I came out. How much better can it get? Right? How much can I improve? And so say if it goes from being a late first rounder to a mid first rounder, you're still going to get a head start on everything. Right? So everything happens a year early. So are you really losing money? With D'Eriq King, is there any chance if he played another year he has a chance going in the first round?
I don't know.
No.
I mean, Joe Burrow did it.
No.
I mean, if he lights up Alabama, I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you put 2 consistent years, like if he has a great year, maybe he gets some stock. But if he puts back-to-back years and you're the quarterback that kind of like legitimately brought Miami back and he beat Alabama, like, yeah, I think you're talking about like you would take a major, major jump.
All right.
but on the flip side,
On the flip side, you could have a terrible year. But what I'm wondering is if one national pundit doesn't have him in his top 10 quarterbacks, where does that put him? Like in the 6th, 7th round, maybe?
Right. If he's drafted at all.
If he's drafted at all. So like,
Right.
Then my question is, well, what are you losing out by coming back and playing another year? Because you're not guaranteed a job at that point.
I think he's going to always have that situation, though. If he stayed another year, right, I think we're going to have the same conversation next year. It's just because here's the deal. If that was the case, they would already be talking about him. So even when he was the Heisman favorite,
Yep.
right, nobody was even mentioning, he could get drafted high. Right? It's never been a conversation. And we're already talking about the quarterback from North Dakota State. So you had D'Eriq King right here with all these people writing about him and all how good the Cane's going to be when he gets here and how great he is and Heisman hopeful. And nobody even talked about where he could possibly get drafted, even if he were to go and win the Heisman as the favorite.
yeah,
So how much is that going to improve?
by the way, that North Dakota State situation, they're not playing fall college football, but they played one game. They had literally a showcase game just for this one quarterback, Trey Lance. And then, sure enough, after the game ended, he entered the NFL draft.